Well, good evening, everyone. You're listening to PCJ Radio International, broadcasting to listeners in Port Moresby, Papua New Guinea on 101.9 FM, and to listeners in Europe from 20 to 21 hours UTC on 9405 kHz. Coming up in a moment, focus in the Pacific.
UNICEF says Australia is violating the rights of the child by sending refugees in Nauru to Cambodia under a controversial $30 million resettlement deal. The first refugees expected to be flown from Nauru to Phnom Penh this week. UNICEF East Asia and Pacific Regional Director Daniel Poole says no government policy or action should knowingly put children's lives or well-being at increased risk. He says, according to the Convention on the Rights of the Child, which Australia and Cambodia are parties, the rights of children must be guaranteed. He says the government has a clear responsibility to protect children's rights in every circumstance. Mr. Poole says any government that takes actions which will increase the risk of children's safety must accept a special responsibility for safeguarding their rights. A contractor, International Health and Medical Services, or IHMS, says it supports a bill that would allow staff to use force against detainees in immigration centres. Australian government seeks to make immigration officers largely immune from liability for using force on detainees if it is believed necessary to keep others in detention or maintain good order. There have been repeated violent incidents at Canberra's camps in Nauru and Papua New Guinea. Mary Baines reports.
In its submission to changes on the Migration Act, IHMS, which has 260 staff at Australian-run detention centres, says it has seen an increase in violent and aggressive behaviour. It says that includes the damaging of furniture, walls and doors, throwing objects, and some isolated incidents of inappropriate touching and physical aggression. It says there has been a small number of serious attempts to harm IHMS staff, in which individuals have had to be physically restrained by security staff. It says given the serious repercussions, should security personnel not have the capability to restrain an individual who is harming themselves or another person, IHMS supports the bill. The Board of Citizens say it would allow immigration officers to beat asylum seekers to death if intended and allow excessive force to be used in almost any circumstance. This is Mary Baines.
6 police officers in Papua New Guinea have been suspended for the assault of betel nut vendors in a central province market in Papua New Guinea. Both Courier reports the suspensions come as investigations are launched over their roles in an illegal raid. Police say they will not entertain the ill behaviour of staff and describe the actions as unprofessional and unethical. The suspended officers were members of the Dog Unit and Special Services Division. Last week, vendors at the Rabulungo claimed a number of police officers physically and verbally assaulted them, destroyed their property, or with money which belonged to the vendors. Vanuatu's foreign minister has indicated his government is to open an embassy in Indonesia's capital. Arthur Tillman confirmed this to local media while in Jakarta for this week's Asia-Africa conference, gathering of 77 developing countries for discussions on development and cooperation programs. Johnny Blake reports.
Arthur Tillman said the opening of an embassy would strengthen cooperation between his country and Indonesia. Government relations between the two countries have previously been remote due to Vanuatu's long-held support for West Papuan independence. Mr. Tillman was Prime Minister of Vanuatu in 2012 when the government controversially forged the cooperation agreement with Jakarta, although subsequent configurations of government kept that in closer links. However, following last month's devastation in Vanuatu from Cyclone Pan, Mr. Tillman welcomed Indonesia's contribution of $2 million in relief. He denied that the assistance would have any bearing on Vanuatu's support for the West Papuan bid to become a member of the Melanesian Skiing Group, in which Indonesia has observer status. I'm Johnny Blake.
The Tongan Prime Minister's arrived in New Zealand on a private trip to accompany his sick wife as she undergoes surgery. Police